Hello all. So today we will be seeing the working of NAT Gateway. So NAT Gateway is a kind of gateway that supports the private subnet instance to connect to the internet or some other services that is present in the private subnet to connect to the internet, right? So we are not allowing private subnet instance to connect to the internet. So for that purpose, we need to use some kind of gateway uh, that can privately connect the instance to the internet. So you can see here in this picture, so here there are two subnet. This one is public subnet, this one is private subnet, and both the subnets are created inside this VPC, and this VPC is created inside this region. So the VPC CIDR block of VPC is 10.0.0.0/16. Inside this VPC you are creating two subnet, and you are making one subnet as public and another subnet as private. So why I am saying one subnet is public here, because you have provided path of this subnet to the internet. So if you see the routing table of this public subnet, you can see here one local communication inside this VPC is provided, path for that is provided, and the other one is one path that is provided for the internet gateway, and here you are allowing traffic from anywhere to the anywhere. You can receive traffic from anywhere and you can send traffic to anywhere. Now if you see this private subnet, if you see the routing table of this subnet, so you can see here only local communication can be possible. But if you want to connect these instances that is available in the private subnet to the internet, so you need to connect to the NAT gateway. So NAT gateway instance is always created in the public subnet, but the subnet instance that is present in the private subnet can use that NAT gateway instance, right? So NAT gateway instance will always be associated with public subnet, but it will be used by private subnet instance that we need to consider in our mind. So in our lab session today, what we will be doing, we will create one custom VPC with this CIDR block range, and inside that VPC, I'll create one subnet as public subnet with this CIDR block and one subnet as private subnet with this CIDR block. Then I will create one EC2 instance in public subnet and another EC2 instance in private subnet, and then I will connect to the public subnet instance, and inside through that public subnet instance you can open this private subnet instance, because this instance cannot be accessed from anywhere or from your system also. So from this system you will open this particular server, private server, and after that I'll show when I'm opening this private server in this private subnet, you will not be able to send traffic to the internet. But once I will place NAT gateway in this public subnet and I'll associate this NAT gateway with this private subnet instance, so you can take your traffic from this instance to the internet. So that will be the whole lab part that we will be doing today. So now I am moving to the AWS console window. You can see here I am just going to VPC first, and here I will create one VPC with 10.0.0.0/16 CIDR block. So I'm creating my VPC in Mumbai region, and there is only one default VPC is present here. So I'll create one custom VPC. So any VPC that you are creating apart from the default VPC will be known as the custom VPC. So I will create VPC as well as subnet as well as internet gateway and the routing table here only, right? So I'm just writing here NAT VPC underscore NAT, because I'm just creating this VPC to show you the working of the NAT gateway. So you can see here CIDR block to this VPC is associated as 10.0.0.0/16. Now if you go here, tenacity will be default because we are not creating dedicated VPC here. Now number of availability zone I want 1, and in that availability zone I will create one custom VPC, now one private subnet and one public subnet. So if you want to customize availability zone, so you can do that, but I am keeping it as 1A. Now number of public subnet I want to create as 1. Number of private subnet I want to create as 1 here. Now I will customize the subnet CIDR block here. So I'm just writing /24, and for this one I will write 1.0/24, right? Like I have shown in the documentation itself. Now after this one, what I'll do, I will not associate NAT gateway directly here. I will show the working of the NAT gateway later on. I'm not connecting to the endpoint, so I'm selecting none here. Now I will create my VPC. So along with VPC, all the other things are created like subnet, internet gateway, routing table, all the things are created and associated with the VPC and the subnet. If you want to see the VPC, your VPC, that is VPC, NAT VPC is created. 2 subnets are created along with these VPC. 2 routing table must be created here. This one is public and private routing table. Internet gateway is also created and associated with my VPC. If you see the routing table, right now in the public subnet routing table, if you go and see the routes information, so you will see only 2 routes are available. One local communication within this VPC and one communication via internet gateway is provided. Now if you see the routing table of the second VPC, right, that is a private second subnet, that is the private subnet. If you see the routes information of this one here, you can see only one local communication is provided. When we will create NAT gateway, then we will associate that NAT gateway with this particular routing table also. So that is it. Now I will go and create 2 EC2 instance, one in public subnet and other one is private subnet. So I am just going to open EC2 here. So there is no instance running right now. So what I'll do, I'll create 2 instances. So I will launch my first instance. So I'm writing here public. So my public instance will be created. So now I'm using Microsoft Windows Server here, and I'm just using the older version so that if there is some security kind of thing, so that will be removed, right? So I'm just selecting this 2012. So I need not to do security setting and firewall setting again and again. So that's why I'm doing that. You can perform this task in 2022 version also. So I'll show you. I will take one Windows instance of 2012 version and one Windows instance of 2022 version. So now I am creating one public key pair for public instance. Okay, so I'm writing here public KP11. Now in the network setting, we need to change this one. Why? Because this one is the name of the VPC is this one is default VPC, but we need to associate with custom VPC that we have created today. So we will go and we will associate with custom VPC, and inside this custom VPC we will associate with public subnet. So you can see here 2 subnets are created, one public subnet and one private subnet. So we will associate our public instance with public subnet. Now auto assign public IP should be enabled. That's why we can assign public IP address to this instance. Now I will create one security group. So I'm just writing name of the security group is public NAT SG, right? So I'm writing like this, and I'm allowing 2 kind of traffic. One RDP connection from anywhere, and other is pinging operation, right? Because we will ping to the internet, we will ping from one system to the other system. So for that purpose, we need to go for this option. So I'm just going all ICMP IPv4 and from anywhere we are allowing. Now we need not to do anything else. We need to go and launch instance. So this one is the public instance I will be creating here. Now after this one, what I'll do, I'll create one private instance. So I will launch one more instance, And in the case of name, I will write here private. After this one, so Windows instance, I am taking 2022 for this case. So I'll show you that there is no changes in the instance selection part. Now key pair, I will use the same key pair that we have used, right? So public KP11 that I created today, I will use that one. Public KP11 I will use today. Now in the network setting, we need to edit this network setting. So we need to go to VPC selection, and then we need to associate with private subnet. After this one, what we need to do, auto assign public IP address should be disabled. Now security group, I am selecting the existing security group that we created for our previous instance, that is the public NAT SG. Even if in public NAT SG we are allowing two type of connection, RDP connection from anywhere and ICMP from anywhere, but still we will not be able to connect from anywhere with this private instance because we are not allowed path to the internet gateway. So that is it. I'm just launching this instance. So these two instances are launched. So now what I'll do, I'll go to public instance. I will connect with this instance. I will open here. I will download RDP file. I will get my password for private public instance. Then I'll get password for the private instance also. So after this one, I will decrypt this password. So you can see, because this instance I have selected that is of 2012. So encrypted password is of a smaller length, right? So if you are taking higher version system like configuration system, in that case password length is more because security is like RSA based security, and there the length of this particular password will be larger. Now moving to the instances. Now if you go and refresh here, go to the private instance and try to connect RDP client. I will download remote desktop file. I will get my password. So I need to upload the private key file. This one is, and then open and finally decrypt the password. So when I decrypted this password, I used 2022 version, right? So here I will write private. Now I will connect to my public instance. So I have not created NAT gateway right now, right? So when I'll create NAT gateway, before NAT gateway, what will happen, I'll show you first. So username will be administrator and password will be the same password that I have copied here. So I will copy from here and I need to paste here. Okay, so I'm connecting to my public instance. Now from this public instance, we will open our private instance. If you'll try to open private instance, you will not be able to open it right now. Right? Why? Because we have not allowed connection with this private instance from anywhere. So error message will popped up. Okay. So you can see here, I will not be able to connect. So I need to connect from here, right? This public instance. Now this instance is in ready condition. Now I'll go to search option here and I will write remote. So remote desktop connection I can make by clicking on here. I need to provide private IP address of my private instance, right? So if you go up, you go to instances, go to private, and here this one is the private IP address. So I will copy this IP address from here and I will paste it. Now for the connection purpose, you need to provide username and password. So username will be administrator and password will be the same password that I have kept here in Notepad. Okay, so I will be able to connect from here, from my public instance. So the private instance is getting open here. So you can see here, this one is my private instance. Now I will, okay, so this private instance is opened inside my public instance. Now what I want to do, I want to open command prompt and I will try to ping to the other system. So I will not be able to do because this one is the advanced system. Here there are some advanced level security, right? So if you go here and try to ping to the internet, so you will not be able to ping to the internet because we know that the reason behind that. But even if we will not be able to ping to the other system also, right? So I'm just going to show you that first. So what I want to do, I want to ping to this private IP address of the system. So I will not be able to do that. So ping 10.0.0.87. Okay, so I'm able to ping, right? I think that firewall is not in the stopping condition. Okay, no problem, that's good. But we need to do one more setting here. Okay, so leave that part. Now if I'll try to ping from here, right? So if I'm just opening my command prompt and I want to ping from my public system to that private system. So the IP address of this system is 10.0.1.203. Ping 10.0.1.203, I think. 10.0.1.203, right? So I'll try to ping. Okay, so you can see from here you are not able to ping to the private instance. Why? Because okay, there are like some defender firewall available in that particular instance. I need to make it disable first. So go to here, open server manager. So from here we need to, so we need to allow here, right? Go to local servers. If you make it in large, so click on this Microsoft Defender firewall and domain network should be off. And if you go down, private network should be off. Public network should be off. Now when you refresh this page, you will see it will become off. Now internet connection is also off. You need to make it. Okay, so if you refresh this page, it will become off. Okay, so now I'm closing this window Now if you go here and try to ping to the other system, right? So you will be able to ping. Okay, so from here we were able to ping, but from the other system we were not able to ping. So I'm just minimizing this window. And I'm trying to ping from here. So you can see now I'm able to get reply from the private instance. Now if you will see, if you want to see whether you will get reply from the internet for the private instance or not, so you will not be able to get reply. So we will not be able to get reply from the internet even if we have allowed, right? So now what we need to do, we need to connect to the NAT gateway. So NAT gateway will be available on VPC area, right? Just go here and go to VPC and go to NAT gateway. So we will create NAT gateway first. So there is no NAT gateway present right now. I'll create NAT gateway. So I'm writing name as NAT1. Now in the subnet, as I told you, NAT gateway will always be associated with my public subnet, right? So I will associate with this my public subnet, and then connection type should be public, and there is no elastic IP because we are assigning static IP address to the system, right? Public IP address to the system. So we need to allocate one elastic IP. So you can see here, this one is the public IP address provided by private instance for some time being, right? For very less amount of time, till the time we want to move our traffic to the internet. So you can see this one is my elastic IP address that is associated with my NAT gateway. Now I'll create my NAT gateway. So first the status of the NAT gateway will be in the pending gate, and after some time it will be in the available gate. So NAT gateway is created. Now this NAT gateway should be associated with the routing table of the private instance, right? So if you go and check the routing table of the private instance, so you can see only one local connection is available. So you need to add one more connection, that is the NAT gate through NAT gateway, right? So I will allow traffic anywhere via which path? Via this NAT gateway. You can see it is showing or connected to this NAT gateway that you created right now. Now I'll do save changes. So NAT gateway is in pending state right now. After some time it will be in the available state. So if elastic IP address will not be associated with this NAT gateway, so it might fail, but sometimes it happens, right? But most of the time you will be able to create your NAT gateway. Now if you will try to connect your private EC2 instance traffic to the internet, so now you can check via this pinging operation, right? So you can see right now I'm not able to ping to the internet. Why? Because NAT gateway is in pending state, right? After some time it will be in the available case, and in that case you will be able to ping to the internet. So I need to check that again whether this one is in available case or not. So it is still in pending status, so we need to wait till the time it becomes available. So now you can see this one is in available case. So if you'll try to ping to the internet, you will get reply from there. So you can see I am getting reply from the internet when I am pinging from my private instance, that is 10.0.1.203. So like this NAT gateway works, right? If you will disassociate this NAT gateway with this EC2, the routing table of this instance, so you will not be able to send traffic to the internet again. So that I wanted to show you. So once you do this lab assignment, you need to disassociate the elastic IP address, right? So first you need to delete this NAT gateway. So first delete this NAT gateway. Once this NAT gateway will be deleted, then only you will be able to remove your elastic IP address. Okay, so this one is in deletion phase, but after some time it will be deleted. So till the time it is getting deleted, you will not be able to delete this elastic IP address, right? If you want to release this one right now, you will not be able to release. Why? Because it is saying here this elastic IP address is associated with some NAT gateway or EC2 instance or any ENI you can call here. So we need to wait till the time this elastic IP address, this NAT gateway is deleted, right? This one is in deleting phase. So this one is now deleted. Now if you will go to elastic IP address, refresh this page, and now I want to delete. Okay, so I want to release. So still it is in active state. So I want to go to EC2 instance, and I am just removing this EC2 instance also. So terminating these two instances so that we need not to pay more. Okay, so now if I go to VPC again and check whether I'm able to delete elastic IP address or not. So if you go to action, you can see now either I can release or I can associate this elastic IP address to some other NAT gateway also. Because both the options are available. Now I'll release this elastic IP address. So when you will release this elastic IP address, that can be associated with someone else. So I'm just removing this part. Then after that, what you need to do, you need to delete your VPC. Once you will delete your VPC, everything that is associated with the VPC will be deleted, right? Right now it is not in, we cannot delete this. Why? Because my EC2 instance, both the instances are not in terminated condition. Once it will be in terminated condition, then I can delete that VPC also. So I'll show you once it gets terminated. Now both the instances are in terminated case, so we can delete this VPC also. So once you will delete this VPC, everything associated with this VPC will be deleted. Okay, so that is it about today's lab assignment.